to the next video. So today I'll be talking about how to save key value pair of data using React Native's new architecture with turbo modules. So for this video we will look into iOS. For we will be using user defaults for this. So let's get started. So first I have created a default React Native project, and if you go inside the documentation, it recommends that first you enable uh, the new architecture. So you have to run this command. If you are so first you have to cd to your iOS directory and run this command. If you face some issues, uh, so I will tell you how to resolve that issue as well. So there could be two issues that you face. So first one is this, and second one is this. So once you run this command inside your iOS directory, if you get an issue something like this, saying unknown ruby interceptor version, then what you have to do is that you have to cd back to your root React Native project and run this. So this would solve this issue. Then again go back to iOS directory and try to run this command. Again, if you face an issues something like this, then you might want to check out by try running this command. There are some other answers as I have separate video on my channel regarding this, so you might want to check out that as well. But once this command successfully runs from your iOS directory, try running yarn iOS, and you should see this thing fabric colon true. That means the new architecture has been successfully enabled in your project. Next we will be using turbo native modules. So go to that, and it tells you that you have to create 3 folders. Here it mentions that create this RTN calculator outside your root project, but according to me that is wrong. It should be inside your project, otherwise you will face a lot of issues. So just keep this folder inside your project. Also the naming would be little different, so ours would be RTN my async storage. Okay, so this would help us to store normal key value pairs. So I have created 3 folders. So for now just concentrate on iOS and JS folder, forget about the generated folder, Android folder. So just create 2 folder, iOS and JS, and make sure this naming is correct, RTN my async storage. Once you have done that, create a TypeScript file inside the JS folder. So they have named it as native calculator.ts, and you can copy paste everything from here. So similarly the file name would be native my async storage. So here they have referred it as native calculator, but in our case it would be native my async storage.ts. And here I have copied this from the documentation, and this name should be changed, okay, according to whatever you have named the folder name, and this would be changed. So NS user defaults are synchronous methods. So whenever you try to save some data, it is kind of like a synchronous thing. But in Android, once I come back to Android in the next video, we had to use promises, because we will be using preferences data store, and it uses it is not synchronous. It uses something called coroutines, which we will discuss later on. That's why I had to create separate methods for iOS and Android, and the API would differ only in the method naming. So forget about this too for now. You can just copy this for iOS. Next you will go back to the documentation, and so we have to create this package.json file, and copy paste everything from here. Again, the package.json should not be inside your JS folder, it should be a sibling to your JS folder. So I have copied everything. The things which you have to change is this name according to whatever you have named, this thing, and this thing, and this thing. So this should be according to whatever the project whatever the folder name is. You can change it over here as well, here as well, and here as well, but these are like GitHub links. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. Once you have created package.json, then for iOS we have to create the podspec file. So they have told us to create rtn calculator.podspec, and copy paste everything from this. So again, this file would not be inside the iOS folder, it would be a sibling to the iOS folder, and the file name should be according to whatever the folder name is. So once you have created this file, you have to change this is the only thing which needs to be changed. Next, we will ignore Android for now. Next, you have to cd to your project. So I will like cd to my my project name is rn app. So I should be here, and the command which you have to run is this. You have to run yarn add dot slash rtn my async storage. In the documentation they have added double dot slash, but because they have created the folder outside the root project directory, and in our case we have created it inside the root project directory, that's why it should be only a single dot in our case. Then this will automatically add your this folder inside node modules. Next, what you have to do is cd away from your project. So I have created this project on desktop, right? So if I do cd dot dot, I would be redirected to desktop, and next I have to run this command. So here you can see this is the command which I had copied, but I have modified it according to my needs. Changes which I have modified is, first here your project name should come, in this thing also your project name should come, and in the output path they have not added the project name because their folder is outside the project, but in our case it is inside the project. That's why we need the project name over here as well, followed by the folder name and followed by generated. So you have to copy everything over here and paste it in your terminal and try to run it. What will happen is that it will create this generated folder inside your rtn myasync storage, as well as if you go to your node modules, you should see something called rtn myasync storage iOS as well. Okay, so once that is done, scroll down. Now we have to create these two files inside our iOS directory. So I will tell you the exact logic. So go to your iOS directory, create these two files. So this is kind of an header file which I have basically copied it from the documentation. Only thing which I have changed is this rtn myasync storage, the import of rtn myasync storage, and this as well, native myasync storage spec, because our folder name is different. And inside the .mm file, so this is an objective C++ file. First you have to import your header files, then basically this should be rtn myasync storage. So I have first copied pasted everything from the documentation over here and made the required changes whatever I needed. So again, this is copied from documentation, but everything has been changed, like this has been changed according to whatever name you have. Now the get from android is get from android and save to android, we are not bothered about this on the iOS side. So for if someone on the running this app on iOS and try to call this method, I'm just returning a failure, so I'm just rejecting it back. But save to iOS will use the ns user defaults, and it will take the key which you have, and it will take the text which you have, and store it in normal key value pairs in ns user defaults, and it will synchronize those things. And for get from iOS, it will takes a key, so it will take a key and it will give you the return values back. So you can see that this is kind of like a synchronous process. Next you have to, so we will ignore android for now. Next, what you have to do is that again you have to run this command, but make sure it is dot slash and not double dot slash. So I will show you the command again. So you have to first cd into your project, so cd to react native app, and try to run this command back again. Once that is done, again cd to your iOS and try to run this command. So this what this command will do is that it will create a pod of your rtn myasync storage, and you can use it anywhere inside your app. So now to use it, you have to go to your app.tsx, first import rtn myasync storage from rtn myasync storage js native myasync storage, and here I have created two buttons, save item and get item, and on press I am calling the save item and get item methods. Now inside the save item I am checking whether the platform is android or not. So we are on iOS, so this method will get called, like save to iOS, this is the key, this is the value. And for get item, Again, I am calling RTN my async storage get from iOS, and I am passing the key, and you will get the value from here. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.